Sarah sees this text from her manager and her heart sinks. I'm getting fired, she thinks. She spirals all evening, imagining the worst. Meanwhile, her manager finishes planning her promotion announcement. The next morning, Sarah, I wanted to discuss your promotion to senior designer. Do you have time to go over the details?
The video you just watched right now was created using AI. And the simple and most interesting part of it is that it was generated or created using free AI tools. And if you're going to stay with me from the beginning of this video up until the end, I am going to walk you through the 4 simple steps or processes I used in generating a simple educational video just like this. Maybe you want to create faceless educational channel for your Instagram, YouTube, or TikTok, or any social media handle at all. So I'm going to show you how to achieve these simple videos. The first thing we're going to do is to have a script. It can be overemphasized. Script actually gives you the overview and the idea of what you intend to create. So the first step will be to get a script. It's either I write it, but for the sake of this video, I am going to go to Claude AI. I'm going to use Claude AI and you're going to see how I generated it. So when I get to Claude, I'm going to use this basic prompt. I want you to write me a short video script for a targeted video of about 40 seconds on the theme of communication. This script should portray an assumption and the actual true intentions in communications, and by the end of the day, teach effective communication. Now, I want a prompt to generate an image for each scene. I want a prompt for the camera movement in each scene, and I need the prompt for the dialogue in each scene. I need the image, I need a build-up of image, I need the camera movement, and I need the dialogue for each scene. So I'm going to prompt Claude. As you can see, Claude has generated everything we asked it to do, scene by scene, the camera movement for each scene, the dialogue for each scene, the prompt for the image for each scene. So while we have all these things ready right now, the next thing we're going to do is to move on to the next step. So the next step will be to go to Google Whisk. You can find Whisk on Google Labs. Here on Google Whisk, the first thing to do is to select the aspect ratio. So in this case, we're going to select the 9:16 aspect ratio. The 9:16 aspect ratio is comfortable for your YouTube Shorts, Reels, and TikTok videos. So we're going to select the 9:16. The next thing to do is to copy the prompt that Claude has given us one after the other. So I am going to develop the first scene, and the first scene is for the character named Sarah. Like we can see, Whisk usually generates 2 characters per generation. So to get character consistency, and that's why I love Whisk, I am going to upload the image of Sarah that we generated, that I've downloaded, so as to maintain facial consistency for the next scene we're about to generate. The next scene will be Sarah and her boss. We don't have a description of her boss yet, so I'm going to upload Sarah's image that we've generated as a reference image this time. So while generating the office scene of Sarah and her manager, we can see that there is a bit of inconsistency in the image that Whisk is giving me. All right, you can see that. So I'm going to upload the previous image of Sarah and her boss, right? So I'm going to upload the previous image and I'm going to use that as my subject, my scene, and style. And in addition to that, I'm going to add right now in my prompt, I'm going to use the word African because it is an African scene from the onset. So once that is corrected, I will now head on to generate the last scene. As you can see, all our scenes as per what Claude gave us has been generated. But we're going to notice something when we move on to the next step and the last step. So that's why I urge you to stick with me on this video. So once I'm done generating all my scenes on Whisk, the next important thing I'm going to do is I want to bring these still images to life. What I'm going to do from here is to go to Grok. So when I get to Grok, I'm going to bring all the still images to life. And in this case now, I am going to use our camera movement as the prompt. So when I get to Grok, I'll click on Grok Imagine. And I upload my first scene. I copy the prompt that Claude has given. I paste it on Grok. So I've generated the first scene. Let's move on to the second scene.
We need to talk.
What is it, Sarah? If it's bad, I'm coming in.
Okay, come to my office.
While generating this second scene, we can see that there's a bit of inconsistency and it's not giving me the actual result of what I want it to give me. So I am going to go back and regenerate, or I'm going to redo this particular scene, and I'm going to add some things in my prompt. So once I've added this prompt extension of the correction I want Grok to effect from its last generation, I'm going to prompt it and wait for some seconds as we get this result. So as you can see, Grok finally gives us two outputs from what we already have. So we can compare both results and choose the one that suits the use case at this point. Nonetheless, if it still does not fit what you want to do, you can redo it until you get something perfect. But I think I'm cool with this. So I'm going to download the one I want to use at this point. Then, after developing my scenes, bringing the still image to life, the next step now here is to go to Google AI Studio. This next step is where we want to generate our voiceovers for each and every one of the scenes. So we can do that one by one, or we can batch, create it, then cut it on the next step. But in this case, I want to generate, since we have just about four scenes, it's simple. So I want to generate it scene by scene. I want to generate the voiceover scene by scene and then use it in the video while putting everything together. Okay. Once I am on Google AI Studio, I will click Playground. Once we come to Playground, by default, it's going to take us to two dialogue section. So we're going to change it to single dialogue. We want a single character voiceover. So we're going to change it. So once we change it, the next thing we might want to do is to check out the voice characters
Got
and
a project in
select the
mind?
voice character we
What
want
do
to
you want to
use.
explore?
This is important in content creation, considering the audience you are targeting. As at now, Gemini text to voice has more of American, US, and
What kind of masterpiece
UK
are we aiming for?
voice characters. But there are ones, if you're targeting an African audience, that can say the things they will understand. So we will scroll down
What do you
until we
want to explore?
select the appropriate character. So the voice character we're going to use for this particular generation will be leather. Once you do that, you paste the prompt. Once you've pasted the prompt, hit on run and wait a few seconds while it generates.
Sarah sees this text from her manager and her heart sinks. I'm getting fired, she thinks.
Repeat the process for the whole voiceovers.
She spirals all evening, imagining the worst. Meanwhile, her manager finishes planning her promotion announcement. The next morning, Sarah, I wanted to discuss your promotion to senior designer. Do you have time to go over the details? Clear communication saves everyone stress. Don't assume, ask questions. Don't be vague, add context. A few extra words can change everything. Clear communication saves everyone stress. Don't assume, ask questions. Don't be vague, add context. A few extra words can change everything.
Now, while generating, you can observe that some voices is more than 6 seconds, which is the basic length of a video scene that can be generated on Grok, especially if you are on a free account. On a paid account, you can generate up to 10 seconds. So we have prompt extensions. We're going to see how I'm going to work my way around it. So once I'm done with voice generation, I go on to the next step, which is video editing, where I'll be editing my clips, bringing in my clips, the voice together and all. So for this particular case, you can use any editor you find handy. But for this case, for this video, we're going to use CapCut. So I'm going to open CapCut and then import my media files. So once I import my media files, I drag scene 1 and the voiceover. If you observe, our voice is longer than the actual scene. So what I'm going to do now is to split this scene, copy a portion of the scene and paste it at the end of the whole clip. As you can see now, the scene matches the voice. We move to scene 2.
She spirals all evening, imagining the worst. Meanwhile, her manager finishes planning her promotion and now.
While developing scene 2 as well, we can see that the voiceover for scene 2 is about 11 seconds and our actual clip is like 6 seconds. All right. So I'm going to cut a portion of this scene and duplicate it. And the next thing I'm going to do again is to go back to Grok, take that reference video that I have used, that we've created, and use another prompt extension, use another reaction, but the same scene. Some of the scenes will come with voices that we don't want. They may come with dialogue that we don't want. Grok does that until when you put in your prompt that you don't want any voice. Okay. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to reduce the volume on some of them that I don't need that, or I'll split the sections and reduce the volume, the part that I don't need. So for the last scene, we can see that I gave, for the extension of scene video, you can see that I gave a prompt for Sarah to dance. When you're promoted, right? You dance, okay? So I wanted to, so that is that. At this point, I want to mention that in AI video generation, it's a combination of your tools and your creativity. You see, these other extensions that we are having now, Claude didn't give it to me, but I'm not going to base my knowledge and all my intelligence on Grok alone. So sometimes I have to impute my creativity because I am the creator. They are just a tool for me to actualize what I have in mind. Okay. When I am done arranging my clips and voiceover how I want to overlay them, the next thing I might want to get is a background sound and a sound reaction. So for the first scene where it seems like there is a bit of shock and some unexpected tempo, what you need to do is to click on the audio tab on CapCut. Then I manually search shock sound effect. That's what I want to use for this scene. So once I get the one I want to use, I import it into the video and arrange it, place it where I want it to be on the video. So the next thing now is I want a soundtrack, or I want a background sound to play to communicate the mood of the video, or to brighten the mood, or to add to the video, whatever you want to do, or whatever English you want to speak at this point. All right, so that is what I want to achieve at this particular point. So to achieve that, I still want to use an AI generated voice theme. So I'm going to go to suno.com. Once you're on Suno, you sign in. Once you sign in, you can see this video being displayed now. I explained a bit of Suno. So once you sign in on suno.com, click on simple, switch to simple. I also explained that in the video that just displayed. Once you've clicked on simple, you're going to type this basic prompt into the generation bar. So once you've pasted, you've given it the prompt you want, select instrumental. So select instrumental, telling Suno that I don't want a voice, in as much as you've added that in your prompt already. So you select instrumental. So you click on generate and wait for some minutes. Suno will come up with about four songs generated, two for you to preview what the premium will sound like. They are 1 minute, while the other two are more extended. So you play them and choose the one you want. So for this sake, for my own sake, I like sound 3, which is like sound 1 of the free model to be generated. So I will download it, import the media once more to CapCut, and I'm going to overlay it like this. Once I am done, the next thing to do is to export my video. And here is our final result.
Sarah sees this text from her manager and her heart sinks. I'm getting fired, she thinks. She spirals all evening, imagining the worst. Meanwhile, her manager finishes planning her promotion announcement. The next morning, Sarah, I wanted to discuss your promotion to senior designer. Do you have time to go over the details? Clear communication saves everyone stress. Don't assume, ask questions. Don't be vague, add context. A few extra words can change everything.
Wow, it's been a long journey, and if you're with me up until this point, it means you found this tutorial very, very interesting. So, like we always know, like we always do, there are three things we normally do by the end of the video, and these three things are: we like, we share so that your community knows what you're doing, and we eventually subscribe to the channel just in case you want to be creative using AI tools. This is what I do on this channel. I'll show you the best tools that will help you to solve your day-to-day tasks and help you to be more creative and productive. Once again, thank you for watching, staying up until this point, and see you in my next video.